Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel with another video for you guys here today, and we're more than halfway through the NFL season, and it pains me to say that because whenever the NFL season comes back, it just goes by way too quickly. But we're here to talk about a conversation that has started in Cowboy circles that I wanted to get some of your thoughts and opinions on down below in the comments section because I've been thinking about it. I've been looking at where everybody else is at in the league and really what the dialogue is. Has Dak Prescott entered the MVP conversation for the National Football League in 2023? To some, that might seem asinine. Oh, Space, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. The team's 6-3. Dak Prescott, sure, he has nice stats and he's been playing great football, but there's other dudes that deserve it more than him. Well, that's why I'm trying to make sure I'm being clear here. I'm not saying that he is the MVP frontrunner, that he has entered the conversation. And looking at the stats here, right, you look at Dak Prescott, he is tied with Patrick Mahomes and Sam Howell for most touchdowns thrown this season. I believe the Commanders have played one extra game than us. So, of course, sometimes these stats are a bit skewed. Dak Prescott's passer rating, when I'm looking at for what it is, in terms of qualifying passers, is right behind Brock Purdy and Tua Tagovailoa with a 105.1 passer rating, which right now is the best of his career. He's playing the best football of his career. In terms of completion percentage amongst qualifying passers, Dak Prescott is just a hair below Josh Allen with 70.7 of his passes completed. And then finally with passing yards, as I'm waiting for this thing to update, Dak Prescott is, I believe, 6th right now. Let me just double check. I believe 7th, actually, with 2,415 yards in the air. Now, of course, people tell me, Space, why don't you include the rushing touchdowns? Well, I'm just looking at it from the quarterback and him passing the football because that's really what the NFL is about, is a passing league. And, sure, is he behind guys like C.J. Stroud, who's a rookie, Sam Howell, who's in his first year starting for the Commanders, and other dudes? Yeah, sure. However, where are these dudes at in terms of the record? Because as we know, and I've said it many times on this channel, if you want to be in the MVP conversation, I understand that it's a quarterback-driven award. So Dak Prescott, check, he's a quarterback. He's putting up really good stats compared to his contemporaries. Check. Now it's the team record. That's how the media votes on this, but then I'm going to get to the final part about the media, and you probably know what I'm going to say. As we take a look, at the top passers in the league, Tua currently leads the league in touchdowns. His team's 6-3. Who else is 6-3? The Dallas Cowboys. You look at the Chiefs. They're 7-2. The Ravens are 7-3. And then you have the Jaguars at 6-3. And you notice how those league, those division leaders, you also have, teams like the Steelers, the Browns, that are also 6-3, but the quarterback play hasn't been good enough. So realistically, as I'm taking a look at the AFC, and you might say, well, Space, why isn't Josh Allen in the MVP race? I think he can be. The problem is his team's 5-4, and they've been so hit or miss. And they play tonight, actually, on Monday Night Football, so we'll see how things go. Because if they lose, I don't know, man. I don't know. But, but yeah, so you do have the Bills also lingering around. So what is that? Really 4 teams that maybe have guys in the MVP conversation. You can argue C.J. Stroud as well. And maybe Trevor Lawrence. No, never mind. Trevor Lawrence stats aren't there. When we go over to the NFC, of course, you have Philadelphia. Then you have the Cowboys. Sam Howell, his team is 4-6. They're not going to really be talking about him as much. You have the 49ers and Seahawks, but those quarterbacks are not playing well enough, really, and maybe besides Brock Purdy, but he's been hurt and not been playing well of recent, except for the one game versus Jacksonville. You have the Lions and Jared Goff, maybe. I was going to say Kirk Cousins was putting up an MVP season early on before he tore his Achilles, and the Saints and really everybody else in the NFC South are whatevers. So when I look at it, it's what's funny is that this year there hasn't been a clear front runner. There have been people saying that Jalen Hurts is the MVP because the team's 8-1, but when we really look at it for what it is, it's not like he's playing terrible. I think a lot of people are kind of looking at the narrative for how the Eagles are winning games. They're winning close games, which should be applauded, but it doesn't have the same aura as it did last year. And I think that considering the fact that Dak Prescott has been playing at a high level over the past couple of games compared to some of his contemporaries, and I believe he actually leads the league in touchdown passes over the past 3 games, which is unbelievable. I'll go, it's just, to me, Dak Prescott has deserved the right to be in the conversation. His team has a good enough record. He's putting up the stats all across the board, and there really is no frontrunner. Like, I would argue that before he lost, or rather before the team lost to the Browns, I would have said Lamar Jackson, I believe, is in that case to be the MVP. But then I look and see how they're doing, and then it's just like, I don't know. So then for me at least, I would say that the guys that are in the conversation, I'm not saying front runner, I would say C.J. Stroud, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and of course Patrick Mahomes and maybe Josh Allen, depending on the result tonight. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if you get, if I'm wrong or you think I'm wrong, let me know, because this is a opinion type of video. Like, in order to win MVP, you need the stats and you need the team record. So far, the Cowboys are still in a position to get that, but then here's the thing. It's a media voted on award. So, for me at least, if Dak Prescott truly wants to win NFL MVP or be in that conversation, which he deserves to be at this point, he would probably need to play at a pace where he's throwing 3 touchdowns a game consistently. And the offense is warming up at the right time. You do have opponents in front of you, to be completely frank with you. You should be able to perform very well against. And then, of course, how they've been playing at home has been on an unbelievable level. We're talking about, like, you're scoring almost 35 points a game, and your margin of victory is more than, like, 3 scores. It's like Dallas is an unbeatable team at home, which I can't believe I'm saying that, because in years past that wasn't the case. So we have to give Dak Prescott his flowers, man. He has been playing at a very high level. And I think that has been a result of him using his legs. And I think that as long as the Cowboys keep winning, and especially with the trajectory, if there's a situation to where when they play the Eagles again, the Dallas Cowboys can play for the division lead or tie for the division lead, and they take that advantage and run with it, there's a real possibility that after that game, if he's continuing to play like that, and I mean if, you might find a front runner, depending on the level of play amongst the other teams. So, to me, he's in the conversation. Do I think he's the front runner? Absolutely not. I think that, for me at least, there is no clear front runner because no one has really said, oh, I'm here. The only person that I think has maybe the front runner is Jalen Hurts, because of the fact that he's on the team that has the best record and has stats that can put him in that conversation. But, like, the aura around everybody else just, like, I don't know what it is. It just feels like MVP isn't really talked about this year. Like, it wasn't like last year where it was like, it's clearly Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes. The year before that, it was, I believe, Aaron Rodgers. So it's like, 2021. Yeah, like, it was like, clearly it was Aaron Rodgers, right? Even though Dak Prescott had, he's having his best season to date right here. And I think that's part of the evolution of this offense that the Cowboys are trying to run. And Dak Prescott entering the true prime of his career. You know, quarterback primes are a lot different than some of these other positions because it's a lot of gaining experience and then being able to do that on the football field. And Dak Prescott's been doing it, man. And I think that he deserves the recognition. And I know not a lot of Cowboy fans like him for some reason. You know, I understand that, oh, well, he does this against the bad teams, but he can't do it against the... Man, I'm telling you right now, he's been playing good enough. Even in the loss versus Philadelphia, he was the reason you could have won that game. So, I'm going to leave it at that. He's in the conversation. Deal with it. But tell me what you guys think down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.